All right, let's dive right into this explainer. If you've been searching for the absolute majesty of the Himalayas, but you're maybe looking to skip the extreme, grueling hardship or the massive shoulder-to-shoulder crowds you usually find on the main routes, you're in exactly the right place. We're looking at the Lantang Valley Trek today. It's a truly remarkable 9-day journey that starts and ends right in Kathmandu. So if you've always dreamed of trekking in Nepal but felt intimidated by the demands of the highest peaks, stick around because this is going to be right up your alley.
You know, they call this place the Valley of Glaciers. Mountains rise soaring toward the sky. And honestly, that nickname hits the nail on the head. It perfectly captures the breathtaking atmosphere and just the sheer vertical scale of the region we're exploring. We're talking about a place where swift mountain streams carve straight through rugged rock, and these massive snow-capped peaks just watch over grassy meadows covered in daisies. It is literally pure, untouched Himalayan magic.
So here is our roadmap for today. We're going to kick things off with the Valley of Glaciers, then we'll dive into the trail highlights and culture, map out the actual 9-day journey, and finally we'll wrap things up with logistics, seasons, and costs.
All right, jumping into Section 1, Valley of Glaciers, an accessible Himalayan alternative.
A massive hurdle for a lot of prospective trekkers is that you want those epic, world-class views, right? But maybe you don't necessarily want to put your body through the ringer at extreme altitudes every single day. I mean, nobody really wants to face a grueling 4,610-meter climb over the Laurebina Pass if they don't have to. Well, the Langtang Valley is the perfect solution. It offers this really nice, easy-to-moderate trek that totally bypasses those extremes, but you still get the sweeping glaciers, the rugged rock, and the snowy peaks you're craving. It's an absolute game-changer for beginners, or honestly just anyone looking for a diverse experience without the extreme physical toll.
Moving right along to Section 2, Trail Highlights and Culture. Nature and Tibetan Heritage.
Now, what's so cool about this journey is that it builds way beyond just physical landscapes. You're walking through a thriving, breathing ecosystem. Sure, you get these sweeping panoramic views of giant peaks towering over 7,200 meters, like Dorjelakpa and Lirung. But it's also about the sensory experiences. Picture this, tasting famous freshly made yak cheese at a high-altitude government factory in a local Buddhist monastery or Goumpa. You're hiking through these incredibly fragrant, dense forests of rhododendron, pine, and bamboo. And, if you keep your eyes peeled, you might even spot a Himali Black Bear, some Langur monkeys, or the incredibly elusive and, let's be real, super adorable, red panda. But woven seamlessly into all that natural beauty are the people. And you'll be warmly welcomed by the local Sherpa and Tamang communities, who actually trace their origins back to Tibet. Their Buddhist traditions, their unique languages, and their traditional dress are just so deeply intertwined with the landscape itself. You'll walk right past their distinct flat-roofed houses, which are completely surrounded by these beautiful stone walls enclosing vibrant fields of buckwheat, potatoes, wheat, and barley. It's just a stunning, deeply humanizing contrast to the harsh, rugged mountains towering above.
Okay, Section 3, the 9-day journey. Let's break this down milestone by milestone.
To really get a feel for how this adventure plays out on the ground, let's skip the tedious day-by-day list. Instead, let's look at this trek as 4 distinct, really exciting phases. Phase 1 kicks off with a scenic drive from Kathmandu to Siabrubesi, followed by your very first real ascent through the forests up to Lama Hotel. Phase 2 pushes you further up the valley to the dramatic settlement of Kyanjin. Phase 3, that's the climax. It's a dedicated exploration day at altitude. And finally, Phase 4 is your triumphant return descent, where you'll retrace your steps through those beautiful Tamang villages all the way back to Kathmandu.
And the way this ascent builds is just a masterpiece. It completely engages all your senses. First, you're following the raging Boat Koshi and Langtang rivers, climbing gently through these incredibly vibrant bamboo forests. Then, the whole environment shifts. You pop out at Goratibela, sitting right around 3,000 meters, passing an old Nepalese army post and catching glimpses of white monkeys in the trees. The valley starts to widen here, showing off these high summer pastures. And finally, after crossing some streams and moraines, the valley totally opens up, and bam, you arrive at Kyanjin. The peaks literally encircle you in absolutely every direction.
4,770 meters. Just let that number sink in for a second. That is the peak elevation at Kyanjin, and Ri just means peak in the local language, by the way. This right here is the absolute climax of our trek. While the village itself sits at about 3,900 meters, you actually have the chance to ascend Kyanjin directly behind it. And standing at that immense height,
you're rewarded with a mind-blowing 360-degree panorama of the Langtang peaks, tumbling glaciers, and these spectacular ice faces. It is, without a doubt, the defining moment of the whole journey.
Which brings us to Section 4, Logistics, Seasons, and Costs. Let's get you prepared for the adventure.
So, now that you're probably picturing yourself standing on top of Kyanjin, let's talk practicalities. Picking the right time to go is super important, and it really depends on what kind of vibe you're looking for. Autumn, so mid-September to mid-December, is basically the gold standard. You get sunny, warm days and crystal clear views, even if you do have to bundle up a bit at night. But hey, don't sleep on the other seasons. You gotta weigh that autumn sun against the lush, vibrant greenery you'd get in spring. Or, if you want totally crisp, clear solitude, winter is actually very doable since we're dealing with much more moderate altitudes here.
Now, when you're preparing, you definitely want to know what's covered. The core package is really comprehensive. It handles your trekking permits, national park fees, a basic first aid kit, your tea house stays, and all your meals on the trail. And this is huge. It includes an experienced, licensed guide and a porter, with one porter for every 2 trekkers to haul your luggage. So what's actually on you? Mostly just your accommodation and meals while you're hanging out in Kathmandu, your personal travel insurance, laundry, and of course, tips for your hard-working crew.
So, what's the bottom line here? $715. Honestly, for what you're getting, that is an incredible value. This group discount price actually saves you $180 off the standard rate. And what's super cool about booking this specific trek with Nature Trail is they guarantee a fully financially protected, carbon-neutral tour. So you're supporting the local economy, keeping your carbon footprint down, and you even earn travel credits for future trips. For a fully guided, multi-day Himalayan expedition, that price point is just remarkably accessible.
As we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with a thought. Are you ready to trade the massive crowds for the pristine valley of glaciers? You've seen today that you don't actually need to conquer 5,000-meter passes to experience the real majesty of Nepal. You can wander through vibrant rhododendron forests, taste fresh yak cheese, and stand totally surrounded by towering 7,000-meter peaks on a journey that's actually accessible. If you're looking for a life-changing adventure that balances jaw-dropping scenery with a trek that won't totally break you, the Lantang Valley is calling. The only question is, will you answer?